When T.I. said family hustle, he probably didn't mean this. Because apparently, the king of the South just got dethroned in his own household. Word on the street is that his baby mama just pulled the financial equivalent of a heist. And now Tip's empire looks more like a clearance sale at the emotional pawn shop. The man went from rubber band man to refund man overnight. And the internet can't stop watching the meltdown.t.I. has finally broken his silence after his baby mama allegedly took everything, and when I say everything, I mean accounts, cars, contacts, clout, and possibly even the last bit of his peace of mind. And standing there in the crossfire, King Harris's son, looking like he just got hit with a reality check harder than any diss track. This story has everything betrayal. Family drama, receipts, and a plot twist even Zeus Network would reject for being too dramatic. One day, it's family goals. The next, it's financial Armageddon in designer clothes. So buckle up, because T.I.'s version of "you don't know me" just became the understatement of the decade. And what he revealed, it's a kind of truth that makes love and hip-hop look like Sunday school. Let's rewind, because this saga didn't start with one argument. It started with years of slow-boiling chaos finally spilling out like overcooked tea on a marble countertop. For years, T.I. has presented himself as the cool-headed hustler, the rapper-turned-mogul-turned-family man who somehow balances music, marriage, fatherhood, and motivational TED Talk energy. But behind that carefully polished Southern charm was a storm that was brewing so loud, even the microphones on Family Hustle couldn't hide it now. According to the whispers floating through every blog, group chat, and Instagram comment section, T.I.'s baby mama didn't just leave, she strategized. Like a chess grandmaster with a grudge, she waited, calculated, and when the moment was right, she took the king off the board. Gone assets. Gone cars. Gone patience. Long gone. The internet is calling it the great takedown of T.I., and honestly, it might be the most cinematic divorce-level drama we've seen since Kanye tried to out-tweet Kim's lawyers. Apparently, the woman wasn't just angry, she was prepared. Screenshots, receipts, voice notes, legal papers, and one long emotional post that made fans scroll in silence. You know, the type capital letters, emotional punctuation, and that one dramatic closing line that reads, "I'm done protecting people who never protected me." Boom. Social media explosion. By the time T.I. opened his phone, his reputation had already been tried, convicted, and sentenced by the court of public opinion. The memes were brutal. One showed T.I. holding a stack of money with the caption, "Before she found the passwords." Another one had King Harris looking confused with the quote, "So who's paying my Wi-Fi?" And when people thought it couldn't get messier, it did, because this wasn't just about money. The internet claims that she took control of everything from joint accounts to business assets, even allegedly freezing access to T.I.'s side ventures until lawyers sorted things out. She didn't just walk away, she hit him with the legal version of a mic drop, and T.I., he stayed quiet. For days. Which is wild, because this is a man who lives on Instagram Lives. He lectures strangers about success, drops philosophical rants about responsibility, and has a quote ready for every situation. But this time, silence. You could hear the internet tapping its foot, waiting for him to respond. But before his silence broke, let's talk about what led to this mess, because according to insiders, the cracks started showing months ago. The couple's arguments allegedly became public when one of T.I.'s old flames made a few shady comments online, hinting that the perfect family image was more fiction than fact. Then came the rumors about spending habits, money disputes, and creative control over who really runs things in the Harris household now. Let's be real. T.I. has always been vocal about being the man of the house. He built his brand on Southern tradition mixed with a splash of street wisdom. But apparently his baby mama wasn't playing background singer anymore. She wanted credit, control, and cash. And when she didn't get it, she took the remix approach, delete his verse entirely, and that's when everything went nuclear. The moment the news broke, King Harris found himself trending right alongside his dad. The poor kid didn't even say a word, but the internet dragged him into it anyway. Memes of him looking shocked during live videos suddenly became King finding out Mama took the house. He couldn't escape it. Every clip he'd ever posted was being turned into a reaction meme for his parents. Drama, and while the internet laughed, T.I. was apparently furious. Not at the memes, he's been roasted before, but at the betrayal. He reportedly told close friends he felt set up, like everything they built together was being flipped against him. This wasn't just about finances. This was about power. The irony. T.I. once bragged about knowing the game, but this time, the game knew him better. Social media detectives started pulling old clips from Family Hustle episodes, pointing out red flags, awkward glances, dismissive body language, subtle jabs disguised as jokes. Fans were suddenly acting like FBI agents for VH1 reruns, decoding every eye roll from a decade ago like it was a hidden prophecy. Then, out of nowhere, the leak dropped. A screenshot allegedly showing a text exchange between T.I. and his baby mama, where he wrote, "You'll regret making this public." And she replied, "You regret underestimating me." Boom, the internet lost it. It didn't even matter if it was real or fake. The drama was real enough. Celebrities started chiming in too. 50 Cent posted a laughing emoji on a gossip blog and wrote, "She played chess, not checkers." Boozy chimed in with a voice note saying, I gotta stop talking like he motivational and start talking like a survivor." Even Charleston White, who has never missed a chance to throw gasoline on a fire, went live saying, "I told y'all, them Harris folks got more episodes than Netflix." And through it all, I stayed silent. That silence became scarier than any rant he could have made. Because when a man who loves to talk suddenly says nothing, it means one of two things. He's either plotting or panicking. But when he finally broke that silence, oh, he didn't disappoint. T.I. appeared on Instagram Live, sitting calm to calm with that preacher meets street philosopher energy he's known for. He started with, sometimes people show you who they are, and you gotta thank M for the lesson. The internet went wild, because in that one sentence, he made it sound like she was the villain in his motivational biopic. Then he added, "I ain't never been robbed, but I've been re-educated." Translation: she might have taken the money, but he's taking the moral high ground. Fans were torn between clapping and clowning. Some said, he's handling it like a man. Others said, he's handling it like a man who can't log into his bank account. And while he tried to stay poetic, people noticed the pain between the syllables. His tone cracked a little when he mentioned family. He said, "At the end of the day, I built everything I got for my children. Long as they good, I'm good." But the internet knows deflection when it hears it. That wasn't peace, that was PR. Then came the curveball. T.I. hinted that his son, King Harris, had seen too much. He said, "When you raise your kids in the spotlight, they end up witnessing what the world shouldn't see." Fans took that as confirmation that King had been caught in the middle of all this, torn between loyalty, love, and the messiest kind of fame, family fame. And right there, the internet's sympathy shifted. Suddenly, it wasn't just about T.I. losing assets or his baby mama winning revenge. It was about how messy, public, and humiliating this whole thing had become for the next generation. Still, T.I.'s calm tone didn't convince everyone. Because right after that live ended, he posted a photo of himself in all black with the caption, "They can take the throne, but not the crown." And that's when fans knew this wasn't over. This was war. Because when you mix ego, money, betrayal, and family drama, you don't get closure, you get a trilogy. And if you think this was wild, wait till you hear what came next. The celebrity reactions, the leaks, the accusations, the memes that had T.I. trending harder than his music, because the silence may have been broken, but the peace, that's nowhere in sight. The internet didn't just react, it detonated. The moment T.I. broke his silence, every gossip blog, Twitter feed, and YouTube commentator turned into a courtroom. Screenshots, captions, and side-by-side comparisons of past interviews were circulating like evidence in a televised trial. Fans were dissecting every word he said, every pause, every raised eyebrow. The man couldn't even post a photo without people commenting. Blink twice if she took the passwords. What started as a breakup rumor was now a full-blown pop culture meltdown, and while the internet roasted, King Harris found himself standing in the middle of a hurricane he didn't create. The young Prince of Atlanta went live, looking dazed, confused, and dangerously close to snapping. He mumbled something about people playing games with a family name, and instantly his clip went viral. The memes were merciless. One user captioned it, "King realizing his trust fund went from 6 figures to $6. Another wrote, "Bro, about to start a podcast called Surviving Family Hustle." Oh, the internet has no chill, especially when it smells blood in the water. Meanwhile, T.I.'s baby mama wasn't backing down. T.I.'s baby mama wasn't backing down. She doubled down online with subliminals that could slice steel. She posted a quote that read, "The loudest one in the room is the brokest one in the house," followed by a photo of herself smiling like a villain in a Tyler Perry finale. That one post alone gathered over 100,000 likes in hours. People flooded her comments calling her the queenpin of petty and Atlanta's answer to Kris Jenner. The tone was clear. She wasn't here to reconcile. She was here to reign. T.I., of course, couldn't stay silent forever. The man's ego is legendary. Within a day, he dropped another live session where he tried to turn heartbreak into philosophy. Sometimes adversity just reveals the truth about character, he said with that preacher meets poet tone. But fans weren't buying it. One comment summed it up perfectly. "Bro, she took your wallet, not your wisdom." No matter how he tried to spin it, people saw pain behind the poetic delivery. The internet can smell damage control like sharks smell blood. Then came the celebrity reactions. Boosie went live yelling that T.I. got finessed harder than a record label advance. Cardi B dropped a laughing emoji under a gossip post. Even 50 Cent couldn't resist writing, "This man out here getting hustled on Family Hustle." And because the internet lives for drama, everyone started choosing sides like it was the Super Bowl. Team T.I. blamed modern women for being entitled. Team Baby Mama called it karma for T.I.'s past behavior. And Team King Harris, they just wanted the poor kid to catch a break. But nothing prepared fans for the next twist. A leaked audio surfaced online, allegedly a phone call between T.I. and his baby mama. In it, you could hear a woman saying, "You always act like the victim when you're the one controlling everything." Then a man's voice, calm but irritated, responds, "You don't control peace when you live off my grind." The clip spread faster than wildfire. Some fans swore it was real. Others said it was I generated. Either way, it reignited the drama like kerosene on a grill. By this point, the memes had evolved into full-blown digital warfare. Twitter threads compared T.I.'s downfall to reality show breakups. One viral tweet read, "This isn't Family Hustle anymore. It's financial humble." Another added, "She took the crown jewels and left him the advice column." Even TikTokers joined in, creating dramatic reenactments with captions, like when your baby mama finishes your financial legacy faster than IRS season. It was chaos. Comedy and tragedy rolled into one messy timeline. Amidst the noise, T.I. tried another approach, posting throwback photos of himself with his kids. Captioned, "Legacy over losses." Fans knew exactly what he was doing. Sympathy bait. But the internet wasn't feeling sentimental. Someone commented, "Legacy doesn't pay the bills. Tip." Another wrote, "Your motivational quotes can't unfreeze your accounts." He was bleeding online, and every caption made it worse. And poor King Harris's name was trending for all the wrong reasons. Blogs started saying he was acting out in response to the chaos. He was reportedly seen in a club looking angry, avoiding questions and refusing to speak about his parents. You could see the frustration on his face in every clip. He wasn't just watching his family implode. He was watching the internet turn it into a sitcom. The boy went from potential rapper to unwilling meme overnight. Then, to make matters even worse, an insider spilled new tea. Apparently, the money she took wasn't just his, it was tied to multiple ventures, including a project King Harris was supposed to be involved in. That revelation had people losing it. Fans started tweeting, "She robbed father and son at the same time." That's a double feature. Even industry insiders were allegedly whispering that T.I. might be forced to liquidate assets just to clean up the mess. The King of the South was suddenly fighting to keep his kingdom from foreclosure. The story kept evolving like a bad sequel. Rumors popped up claiming T.I. was lawyering up, preparing to reclaim what's his. He posted one cryptic message that said, "A storm don't scare a man who built his house on principles." It sounded deep, but the comments section turned it into a comedy club. "Should have built it on prenups too." One fan wrote. Another joked, "Principals don't buy Bentleys." King, at this point, you couldn't scroll social media without seeing some version of T.I. loses it all. YouTubers were dropping hour-long breakdowns with dramatic thumbnails of T.I. looking heartbroken next to dollar signs and red arrows. Twitter Spaces popped up titled, "The Fall of T.I., a Family Hustle Horror Story." Every influencer with a ring light and a microphone was dissecting his pain like it was a midterm project. But behind the internet's amusement, there was something deeper. This wasn't just about money, it was about pride. T.I. built a brand around control, intellect, and dominance. Losing control of his finances to someone he once called queen shattered the image he spent decades crafting. It wasn't just an L in love it was an L in legacy. And that's the kind of pain even lyrics can't heal. Meanwhile, his baby mama, she was thriving. Posting selfies, sipping wine, promoting her new self-care line with captions like, "Peace is expensive, but I can afford it." Fans were split between calling her iconic or ice cold. One viral post summed it up perfectly. She didn't break his heart, she repossessed it. By the end of week 2, this story wasn't just a scandal, it was a cultural event. Talk shows debated it. Podcasts broke it down. And TikTokers choreographed dances to T.I.'s old songs with captions like, "When she takes everything but your rhythm." The man had officially become a meme. And in 2025, that's worse than a lawsuit. Through it all, one image stuck with everyone. King Harris' stunned face from that viral clip. The caption said it all. The day the hustle stopped. 'Cause beneath the humor, everyone could feel it. A family that once looked unshakable had just become another public cautionary tale. And as the chaos reached its peak, people started asking the real question. Was this karma or just consequence? Because if part 1 was the betrayal and part 2 was the explosion, what came next would be the fallout. The reputations, the family fractures, the aftermath no one saw coming. And trust me, that ending makes this whole saga look like the trailer by the time the dust started to settle. It was too late. T.I.'s reputation had already been torn apart like a dollar bill in a strip club. What started as private heartbreak had turned into a public demolition, complete with fan theories, celebrity commentary, memes that would haunt him for years. Everyone wanted to know how the King of the South let his empire crumble from the inside out. The silence, the cryptic quotes, the awkward interviews, every move. It's now a piece of a puzzle that painted a man cornered by his own past. Tried to regain control of the narrative, launching into what fans now call his redemption tour. He started popping up on podcasts and radio shows, speaking in that half-professor, half-preacher tone that made him famous. He said things like, "See, life gone, show you that no matter what you build, you can't outsmart betrayal, and material loss don't equal spiritual defeat." Up. But while he was talking philosophy, the internet was talking receipts. The baby mama was still posting softly lit photos in luxury resorts with captions like, "Freedom looks good on me." The contrast was wild. I was trying to recover his dignity. While she was busy posing with champagne and serenity, King Harris, meanwhile, was walking through the fallout like a kid trapped in someone else's movie. He was showing up at clubs, acting tough, dropping short freestyles on Instagram, and pretending nothing fazed him. But every time someone yelled "Your mama won," from the crowd you could see the crack in his composure. For years, he'd been trying to prove himself as more than T and Tiny's son. But now he was living in the shadow of a scandal that made him look like collateral damage. Fans flooded his comments with sympathy and sarcasm. One wrote, "King didn't ask for this episode." Another said, "They turned Family Hustle into Family Hustled." Meanwhile, blogs began publishing exclusive sources claiming T.I. had lost access to key assets properties. Business partnerships and residual checks were allegedly frozen while lawyers negotiated the split. TMZ-style headlines screamed, "T.I. down bad. The baby mama still collecting." Every time a new headline dropped, it reignited the wildfire. People love a redemption story, but they love a downfall more. And that's when T.I. made his next big mistake. He tried to clap back musically. He dropped a surprise freestyle on social media, rapping over a classic beat about loyalty, snakes, and losing everything to fake love. The lyrics were loaded. "I built the table. They ate and left crumbs. I paid tuition. They failed when the tests come." It was classic T.I. smooth, articulate, bitter. But instead of sympathy, the internet laughed. One viral comment read, "Bro made a motivational speech in rhyme." Another said, "You can't out-rap repossession." It was brutal. Still, you had to give it to him. He didn't stop trying. He pivoted to the moral high ground, posting daily affirmations and faith-based messages. One read, "They can't steal what God gave me," with a prayer hands emoji. Fans were divided. Some called it strength. Others called it deflection. But one thing everyone agreed on: the man was fighting for more than money, he was fighting for relevance. Because in today's culture, silence means defeat. And engagement means survival. But while he was busy rebuilding, his baby mama was capitalizing. His baby mama was capitalizing. She started getting brand deals, hairlines, wellness retreats, and even a talk show offer. She was turning scandal into strategy. People loved her confidence. She became the poster child for leaving toxic men and leveling up. Interviews labeled her the woman who beat the hustle. Her followers skyrocketed. One gossip blog wrote, "T.I.'s loss became her lifestyle." And just like that, she'd flipped the narrative from villain to victor. T.I.'s inner circle started cracking too. Former friends and business partners began distancing themselves quietly. People who used to post family photos with him stopped tagging him altogether. One industry insider even told a podcast, "Tip ain't the same since she took that bag." You can see it in his eyes. That one quote went viral, spawning think pieces titled, "The Fall of Tiaja King Without a Kingdom." King Harris, caught between loyalty and embarrassment, tried to restore the family image. He went live again saying, "Y'all need to stop toking on my daddy name. Family business is family business." But instead of respect, it triggered a new wave of mockery. Someone replied, "The family business got foreclosed." It was merciless. The internet has no mercy for pain dressed as pride. T.I. finally seemed to accept that he couldn't control the storm. He stopped defending himself and started reflecting. In one interview, he admitted, "I gave too much of myself to people who saw me as a transaction." That moment of honesty struck a chord. Fans started shifting their tone slightly, saying, "At least he's learning." But then, because chaos never sleeps, his baby mama posted a video captioned, "Lesson learned." I hope he kept the receipt. Savage doesn't even begin to describe it. By now, the scandal had evolved into legend status. Podcasts called it the Great Hustle Collapse. Fans compared it to Will and Jada's public unraveling. Even gossip pages in the UK started covering it. Everyone wanted to know how a man who taught self-discipline and family unity got blindsided by the very empire he built. The answer was simple. He underestimated the power of narrative. In the age of the internet, whoever tells the story first wins, and she told it better. But there's a strange twist in every downfall. As the laughter faded and the drama cooled, people started to see something human beneath the wreckage. For the first time, T.I. wasn't the slick talker, the hustler, or the philosopher. He was a man who lost. And weirdly, that made him relatable. He became the walking embodiment of every person who thought they had it all figured out until life showed them otherwise. His next posts weren't about money or fame, they were about humility. Sometimes losing everything shows you what everything really is, he wrote. It was poetic. It was painful. And it finally hit home. King Harris, seeing the shift, started speaking differently too. In one clip, he said, "I ain't ashamed of my parents, but I learned something: money don't fix peace." That line alone got him praise. People called it the grown-up king era. Maybe the chaos had matured him in a way no private school or fame ever could. By the end of it all, T.I. and his baby mama weren't at war anymore. They were legends in a cautionary tale. She became the face of feminine power. He became the lesson in male humility. Their story wasn't about who won it, was about how fast power can flip when love turns into leverage. And King Harris, he became the symbol of a new generation watching the collapse of old-school pride. The internet moved on, as it always does, but one quote from T.I. stuck in everyone's mind. "You can rebuild a house, but you can't rebuild trust." Maybe that was the closure. Maybe that was his quiet redemption. Because sometimes the comeback isn't about money, it's about surviving your own story. But make no mistake, the legend of this downfall will outlive the drama itself. In a world addicted to spectacle, T.I. didn't just lose his empire, he became its last great headline. And there you have it, the empire, the collapse, and the echo that shook hip-hop's royal family to its core. T.I. started this journey as the king of the South. But after this public earthquake, even he had to face the truth. Sometimes the kingdom burns from the inside. His baby mama didn't just walk away, she took the crown jewels, the headlines, and the spotlight, leaving him with nothing but lessons and lingering pride. But if there's one thing we know about T.I., it's that he doesn't quit, he reinvents. Maybe this fall isn't the finale. Maybe it's the remix. Either way, we just witnessed one of the wildest plot twists in celebrity history, and the internet is still eating it like a soap opera with a trap beat. Now, before the next scandal drops, do your part in the hustle. Smash that like button, like you're collecting your own check. Drop a comment down below. Do you think T.I. can rebuild his throne? Or is this his final curtain call? And hit subscribe, because on this channel, Expose Express, we don't just cover drama, we autopsy it. Turn on those notifications, because tomorrow's headline could make today's look like child's play. The world of fame never sleeps, and neither do we. This is Expose Express, where truth gets roasted, legends get tested, and scandals get served hot. Until next time, stay curious, stay savage, and remember, in Hollywood's royal court, crowns don't fall. They get repossessed. They get repossessed.